Good morning, sir. It's a great pleasure to have you here, and it's been one full year of action. What are your learnings on that?
It's not 1 year actually. It started in January of 2018 when we announced the merger. So really, it's been let me say 2 long years since the time we initially conceptualized it to today. I think really it's been real hard work from people from all sides of the organization putting it together, because putting a merger of this magnitude is actually quite difficult, because we got to look at getting permission from the regulators, getting permission from the Competition Commission of India, getting permission from SEBI, NSE, BSE, NCLT, shareholders, creditors. See, the list is very long. And while all the process is going on, it also has to be business as usual. All that went through the first year, let me say pre-merger. Post-merger, I think putting the pieces together of different parts of the organization together, like two technologies, two credit teams, two sales teams, two operations teams, putting them together has been backbreaking work, I think, for everybody.
Well, as you said, it's more than 1 year. I actually recollect you used to always say, even at Capital First days, right the time when you were forming Capital First, that I want to one day become a bank. So it's not just 2 years. Maybe in my mind, it's more than 10 years.
It's like a tapasya, of maybe 8 years to become a bank. And it's like a penance. And I think, there was a very single-minded focus, at least at Capital First, to say we've got to convert to a bank. In fact, not many people know that I actually went to RBI and actually asked for a banking license at some stage 2 or 3 years ago. And there was a procedure to that. It's not about Capital First, it's about IDFC Bank also, the erstwhile IDFC Bank. I think people had put a lot of hard work and building the technology platform for a really good bank. And I think that process, like a parallel river stream, has been coming from 2015 onwards. So I think two good streams got together to make a single, let me say, beautiful river.
There was no customer disruption. How did you manage this?
See, it's not about my managing. I think all of us together managed it. The key thing is that actually in a merger, many times the customer disruption can happen when the day you put it together, because there are two call centers, two systems, and if the systems are not integrated together, you will not even get a single customer view. When you're giving a loan, for example, you need to have a deduplication, whether this customer has a loan from here or from there, and you need to get a single view of the customer. So there are a lot of complications that go behind it. But I think the preparation that led to the merger to December 2018, so to say, 2018, I think the preparation was really very good. In hindsight, we should be very happy that not only that we did not have any disruption at customers' end, but in the smell in the market about the merger, through the merger, after the merger, during the merger, the smell was very nice.
So what about what rigor went into the merger? Because I believe during the merger there were daily reviews, and so how do you explain that?
There were two things actually. One was business as usual. Something has to run, because the market's not waiting because we are merging. There is still got to grow, got to deliver. At the same time, I told you how many approvals to take for the merger. So rigor becomes very important actually. We had put up an integration management committee, and I was the chairman of the committee. I was the steering committee head. And, initial thinking was that we could meet once a week and the steering committee could handle discussions what happened. But you know what? We did a daily meeting about what's going on in the merger. And I think that sort of rigor we brought in was very useful. The other thing is that decision making was very, very fast. Because there's little time to evolve great amount of consensus about every decision. Is this platform or that platform, this technology or that technology? Should we apply to RBI for this or should we not apply? Is it a requirement, not requirement? Everything is on the edge. So when going through the process, speed becomes very important. And I think I found a way of getting around the speed by bringing a pole star away from us, which is basically the customer.
But in a day, there were 24 hours. So how did you manage your personal life, and because there were pressures? So how did you go about it, sir?
See, I was really very passionate always about building a great bank. When I left ICICI in 2010, I was public on record saying that, look, this is a non-banking finance company, someday we'll convert. I always feel that it is a great privilege to get an opportunity to work hard. It's not a burden. Work energizes me. So in that period of time, while business as usual is going on, my focus shifted to the merger. So yeah, I mean, I was really keeping late nights like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and again figure out, my brain, even if I woke up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, even for a cup of water, glass of water, I'd be thinking about the merger. So, and then some idea would come. So I'd pull out my, mobile phone, and I'd quickly scribble the idea that came in the middle of the night, and I'd park it away. And 5 or 6, when I would wake up, I'd immediately text someone probably and get going.
Having talked about the merger, I think how's our CASA growth been after the merger? Because many a times people talk about, the CASA numbers need to grow. That's one of the biggest challenges.
Before we move to CASA, I just want to say one thing about the merger to everyone, all of our employees who listen to the program. Really, thank you very much for putting together, doing a brilliant job, putting together a great bank, all of you. The foundation of the bank that all of you have put together during the last 1 year, I really appreciate it. I think from this foundation, we can build a great bank from here. So thank you very much. Now, to your question on the CASA. Now, I think that's been one of the big successes for the bank. The CASA of the bank at merger was 8.68%. But the important thing is we covered very fast. So now, I don't think anybody would believe that in 3 quarters, that is December 18 to September 19, 3 quarters, we are now 18.7%. So we have guided for 30% CASA in 5 years. I'm telling you, we're going to outshoot it by a huge margin.
So in that sense, will you be beating the most of the analysts in that case?
I think we'll beat them like a wide margin.
How do you see the loan book changing?
Retail is a very natural business for us to do. Retail gives 2 benefits to us. One, it is diversified. For example, Capital First, for 9 years at a stretch, gross NPA was 2%, net NPA was 1%, always. These kind of benefits come only from retail. Second thing is retail is relationship with the customer. And once you have a relationship, you can do many things. So the general theme that we're working on is that we want to have a predominantly retail bank. What I mean by that, our liabilities should be largely retail, our assets should be largely retail. Now, that's how we're working to. Now, corporate banking also has an important role in the bank because end of the day, corporate is also a large growing place. There are significant opportunities in trade, in foreign exchange, in LCs, BGs, cash management. There are many opportunities there. And we want to be there. But we want to be there in proportion to our net worth, in proportion to our loan book, such that we have a diversified balance sheet.
When you talk about retail and when you talk about diversifying the balance sheet, it also has impacts on NIM. So how have your NIM moved over a period of time?
Our NIMs have actually moved really well. Pre-merger standalone bank, our NIM was 1.56%. In 3 quarters, we are now 3.4%. And 3.4%, mind you, is a respectable number. It's like a good bank number. The way we are going, for us to be a 5.5 to 6% NIM bank is very possible. And I believe we will be one of the higher end NIMs of the country as the years roll by.
Okay. So recently you came back from an investor conference in Hong Kong. What are investors talking about India and in general there?
They are concerned about slowdown or the so-called slowdown that's going on for the last few quarters in India, and many people would talk about it. I think they're kind of making up the mind whether this is a structural issue, is going to last for long, or is it going to be a cyclical issue which will come back. I think that's where the mind is.
So everybody is talking about nowadays about economy slowdown. So how will it impact our retail growth?
I don't think so at all. Actually, the financial services industry is rapidly, formalizing. And particularly our bank has a very unique capability. We have developed a unique capability at low NPA to lend to people who are not yet, who are not filing their tax returns, for example. We have developed capability to lend to the informal sector. Now, that's a very powerful thing, and that can grow really for a long, long time.
I want to move to another important, very, very important subject, corporate governance. So what are your thoughts on corporate governance? How important it is for you?
To me, frankly, corporate governance is is so important. It's like number one item, right? When people look at our institution, they should believe that this bank can do no wrong. I am making it plain to everybody when I'm traveling to the branches, and many branches who probably see this program will probably bear me out on this. I want nothing that is temporarily dressed up to meet quarter results. I just don't want it. I must tell you something. When Capital First return on equity started from 0 or negative, by the time it touched 6 return on equity, price to book was 3 times book or 3.5 times book. Why? There are many banks in the country who are posting, or even NBFCs posting 20 return on equity. Price to book was 1 time or 0.5. What is the difference? Because people believe the numbers. I have been a big beneficiary of that, and I believe that our bank also will be a big beneficiary of high corporate governance.
Let me move to another subject, always you first. That's been our brand promise ever since. And you mentioned during the conversation that one Polestar that helped you take many decisions during the merger was customer. So what's your message to employees, and how should we go about it?
See, again, just like I said, like corporate governance is like very, very important. Like that, I'm saying that focus on the customer. What I mean is that we should not be selling anything to the customer that we would not be selling to our own, near and dear ones. For example, will you sell insurance? Let me say yourself. Will you sell insurance to your brother or sister where you know you're making a 40% commission and the customer is not going to make any money for the next 5 years? Will you sell it?
No, I would not.
So why will you sell it to a customer? So when I meet, when I go and meet people in branches, in fact, some people ask me to write on the visitor note that, I write, the first thing I write on the notes is, please sell right.
On the day of the merger, which is today, we're launching a new initiative. Can you throw some light on that, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I compliment all the people who came up with this idea. I think the marketing team and yourself and Madhivanan and the team that worked on, Amit probably, who worked on this, I really compliment everybody. I think the way this concept is coming about is that I think for a defined window, people who are opening savings account with us, we are planting a tree, which is, if you plant a tree, you provided, you created probably oxygen forever, right? And maybe for centuries. So I think we're planting trees, and I think it's a very good initiative, and I appreciate all of you who came up with this idea.
Well, as we complete 1 year, so what's your message to our employees?
Message is actually very simple, of what comes to my mind almost instinctively. I think that it's a rare opportunity for almost all of us in our bank to create an amazing bank. And creation is, of course, much more joy than existence. And number two, I'd say, stay true to the customer. It should come from the heart. If you know you're selling something which is not right, don't sell it. I can live without that income. But think really sincerely for the customer. Like I told you, benchmark is don't sell anything to anyone that you won't sell to your nearest family member.
If you look back, what do you think and how do you feel your journey has been?
I try to look at the positive side of everything, even when there's a difficulty. And even when there is a regulation that has come that is, oh my God, it's so hard, I try to think of what's the positive thing of it. So I think when you think positive all the time, there is some secret energy that comes in us.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and to all employees watching this program, I must say that the first year is the stage when you're laying the foundation. You should be proud that we built a very good foundation. If foundation of a building is laid well and strong, then that story can play forever. So I just want to compliment all of you for doing a wonderful job over the last 1 year and built a solid foundation. I look forward to a wonderful growth over the next many years. And I just hope all of you enjoy this journey of growth over the next many years. Thank you very much.